What's up, everybody? Big Herc 916. You can tune into another edition of Fresh Out Prison Talk. Make sure you guys hit that like button, that subscribe button, share the channel. Let's blow this shit up, man. You know, I got a special guest with me here today. I got Garrett. He's here to tell some real prison stories because you guys always ask about, what goes down behind the wall. And Garrett, man, I know you've been in some serious situations. You've been at some serious spots, man. And, not to glorify or glamorize anything behind the prison walls, but, could you share with us one of your, most memorable experiences having dealt with a riot in prison? And I'm not saying it memorable to make it sound like something you want to remember, but something that it's like you wouldn't want somebody to have to go through in life.
Yeah, man. I remember, I think it was 2006. I was in the pen in Beaumont, Texas. And there was a, everybody runs, like I think I've said before, cars. It's different cars, right? You got like the Texas Aryan Brotherhood dudes, Aryan Brotherhood Texas, White Knights. You got Aryan Circle, Skinheads. You got the Nazi lowrider. I mean, there's so many gangs, white gangs there. It's probably about 30 different white gangs. And then you got about probably 10 or 12 different black gangs, right? You got Bloods, Crips, Mau Mau's from Arizona, right? You got Latin Kings. You got the DC boys. It just goes on and on, right? We had this DC guy, this DC black dude pull up, and he went up to the head of the DCs and was telling the head of the DCs that they needed he wanted a one-on-one with a white boy. And right, again, if in the feds, we don't get busy. Me and you, Herc, we don't fight. We don't stab each other. It's not allowed. And he went to the head DC dude and was like, hey man, I want to get with this white boy. I want to get it in with him. And this dude was probably about 50 years old.
Damn.
Big old dude though, man. Big old dude. Long gray goatee. And I remember Dante, DC dude, said, let me get with Grump. Let me go find out what we can do. Right? And I was out working out, and he came out to the work, and you could already feel the stir on the yard. Like you already knew it was starting.
Yeah.
Something was going down. A lot of the groups are real militant. Like they already have their people in different parts of the yard, like locking the yard up in case it happens. They can come from, divide and conquer is what we say, right? Old war. And so he comes over to me and he was like, hey man, I got this dude that just got out of ADX. He said he just showed up on the yard, man, and he wants to get busy with one of your little youngsters.
And what was this about, though?
I'll get to it. So I said, well, what youngster is it? And he said it was this kid House. My little dude, man, my little sidekick, man. And I was like, it's not happening. He's like, well, you at least go ask House if he wants to do it. I said, you know what, I'll ask him, but I already tell you it's going to be a no. So I went up to House's building and went up in his room or his cell, right? But I said, hey man, check it out. There's this dude that just showed up from ADX, and he was like, yeah, big old black dude with the gray goatee. And I said, yeah. He goes, I want to see him. And I said, what? And he goes, I want to see him. I'm thinking House is a little bitty dude, man. He's probably 150 soaking wet, right? 5'6", 150 pounds, little bitty dude. And he was like, yeah, I want to get with that dude. And I was like, are you sure you seen this dude? Like, he was like, no. He's like, let me tell you what happened. They were in ADX together, and they were across from each other, and the dude started shit bombing House's cell in ADX because he wouldn't give up the phone. And so House, it just got into this throwing shit fest in ADX of no place, right? He's like, I want that dude. I want to get that dude. And I was like, all right, well, this is like, he's like, I know. He's like, can you get me some good knives? And I said, absolutely, dude, I got you. I took off my personal knife. It was a really nice ceramic piece. It was bad. I gave him that one. It had a good latch on it. Latches, for anybody that don't know, you always put a string on it and lock it so that way it doesn't come off your wrist, right? You don't want to get in a knife fight in your wrist and you drop the knife, right? So I give him that, and I said, come out on the next move, because it was timed moves. And I said, and we'll make it happen. And I went back out, went over to Dee's house and said, hey man, it's on, dude. Like, he wants to see this, dude. And he was like, all right, man, well, let's make it happen. I said, anybody makes a move, dude. Anybody makes a move, it's going down. He was like, I agree. So, man, like, house came out. This dude came from this area. Everybody circled up. Like, I mean, like, circled. You're talking about like 400, 500 people circled up. Whites on one side, blacks on the other, right? And then Mexicans and everybody else are doing their own thing. They're not getting involved. And this little white kid came up, man, and that black dude came over, and they just started stabbing the shit out of each other. And what happened was, some dude jumped, man. Some dude jumped, and the next thing you know, it was on, man. And it was on for probably about 2 minutes, which is a long time for it to be on.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
2 minute riot is a long riot, man. Scary shit, man. At that time in life, man, for me it wasn't scary. It was something that I lived for. You know what I mean? I was eagered for it. But now I look back and thinking like, damn, like that's some stupid ass shit, man. Right? Like, what are you thinking? It ended up with the cops shooting out concussion grenades. And the feds, they don't play, man. They shoot live rounds.
Yeah, right? They don't. Do they give warning shots? I know sometimes I don't even get.
They'll shoot concussion grenades, right? They'll throw out a concussion grenade, which it comes out and then after that, if you're not down, line. It's a line of real shots. And that's what they did. They lined it on the curb where they weren't hitting anybody, but they're letting them know it's a real live shot. It's going in the dirt.
Get on the ground.
Get on the ground. So you get on the ground, but it's hard to get on the ground, man. You don't know if that dude next to you is going to really stab you when you get on the ground.
Like,
So you're like knee down, but yeah, that was some real shit, man. That happened. Beaumont, Texas.
Yeah, man. It's for people like who don't understand like situations like that, how serious it is. It's like, man, your adrenaline's pumping, and like you said, you're not really trying to lay all the way on because you're vulnerable. So you're still kind of like looking around, but you're kind of like trying to figure out like what the like, you know, who else is laying down, you know.
You don't know how close you are to dying.
Yeah.
That cop could have just decided not to shoot the ground to give us a warning, which he didn't have to. He hit the dirt right in front of us. He could have just started hitting people, man. And you're not getting down. It's just what it is, man. You're not getting down. I was involved in an issue where when I first got to the yard, man, dude was doing some stuff. I told it in one of your other podcasts, man. But dude got on the yard, man. He was claiming to be something he wasn't. He went to the hole, and we knew when he was coming out of the hole, we were going to have to get this dude. He was a big boy, man. So and usually in the feds, man, it's 3-on-1, right? You got 2 dudes with knives and 1 dude who's usually the one that's going to knock the dude to the ground and then just start hitting him with them steel-toe boots, because that's what you get in the feds, steel-toe boots. While they're stabbing them, you're kicking them. Or they're kicking them and you're stabbing them, whichever way it goes. And I was picked to knock the dude out and then use my boots with him, man. And I'm not glorifying this. I'll tell you why it's scary is that we get to the fence, I hit the dude, I put him on the ground, they start stabbing him, I'm kicking him, right? And the cop throws a concussion grenade out the freaking window and it hits my shoulder, bounces to the ground and goes off, right? And as soon as it goes off, I know that's get down, but I don't know how much time until he pulls his rifle out, that I still got time to get this dude, right? And I'm kicking this dude, and this cop has got his gun on my freaking forehead, and everybody's screaming at me to get down, and I can't even hear him because of this concussion grenade. And easily I could have been killed. You know what I mean? It's just, that's ignorance, man. Why would we put ourselves in this, man? Why did we do that?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was talking with another homie, and he was telling me he actually seen somebody get killed by the police on the yard. You know, get police, they didn't get out, and boop. It's just that quick, you know what I mean? It's like the game. It's serious, man. It ain't like it's a blessing for you to be here to have, been through that. But it's nothing you'd want your child to go through, man. It's crazy, man. That's not a life, man. And people, it's like, oh man, it's like it doesn't always come out where you can talk about it.
It doesn't. I've got a lot of my homeboys that are 6 feet under, man, because of stuff they chose to do in prison, and now they're not here. That's real shit, man. Riots, a couple of them just made bad decisions, man. Good, great dudes, man, made one bad decision, and now you're dead. because of that one bad decision. You know what I mean? In prison, man, there isn't a lot of room for error, man.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
Yeah. What, from your experience, and you know, we've talked about it before, you know, what's usually one of the easiest things, and not to say easy, but that can get a dude killed?
Man, it could be. There's a lot of things that get a dude. Majority of the time it's dope debts, man.
That's what I was about to say.
It's dope debts, and especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Nowadays, man, the yards aren't really ran by the same caliber of dudes it was in the late 80s, early 90s, and 2000s. You know what I mean? A lot of the dudes like that are locked down. I was locked down, right? You get slammed down, you don't have the opportunity to run a yard like that no more. And then what's happening is dopes run the yard. Who's got the biggest sack? He's got the yard. He's got the keys to the yard, right? Because he's got the sack.
Yeah.
And people are just, and in prison, you'll let a person go for so long, right? You'll give them
a leash, let
50,
him
50 paper, 50 paper, 100 paper. Next thing you know, the dude's into you for 250, 300 bucks. He can't pay that. You know he can't pay that.
Yeah.
And dudes get murdered for that.
Yeah. You know, I recall a situation. I was out already, but a homie of mine, you know, they were in a situation, and a friend of his wasn't really a friend, but the dude up in there built up a debt at the gambling table. Yeah. And basically, you know, the dudes he was gambling with, they said, hey, man, you're going to have to either handle it, book your dude, or all you guys going to have to check in. And it's like, if that would have happened, if they went to any of the yard, the big homie would be like, dude, you guys, all you know back good now because you checked in. So literally, you know, they had to pay for that. And, you know, it's like, dude, it's like, this situation can be all bad if we don't, cause we can't check in, we can't book him. And, you know, I kind of looked out for him, sent some bread up in there. You know what I mean? To kind of like, it was the best out in the situation. So it was you know, it was some serious money for prison, and they squashed everything. But after that, then they had to, you know, from the highest guy, and they had to book, you know, dude got checked, but it would have caused everybody had to leave the yard. Yep. Everybody, because it had been one of those situations, and it was over this guy, you know, gambling. You know, gambling and involved in some drugs. He had a debt that had to be paid to somebody else.
I know a dude that got murdered over $50 paper. $50 paper, man. But he kept lying about it, kept lying about it. Like, my mom's sending it, my mom sent it, it's coming. $50 paper, dude is no longer alive, man. And that happens a lot.
Yeah, I know. I seen it. I seen the dudes in there. Mom, send the money.
Yeah.
Fucking bitch, send the money. I'm like, damn, you talking to his mom? Fuck. He come out and dude's looking, what's up, man? Oh, mom's gonna send it, bro. I'll have it, you know. And they checking on the, you know, they check the accounts on Fridays. Like, dude, the money didn't hit. You know, they call their people, the money hit? It's like, dude, it's serious, man. You know, it's that dope, man. And you know, you develop habits in there, and a lot of there, you know, a lot of times, I didn't even really know half the people in there I knew were on drugs, because I'm like, damn, why that dude? He's always in the cell, nodded. He's sleeping like for a whole day. It's like, oh, bro, he on that H.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, homeboy? I didn't know. He's like, yeah, man. You know, and it's like, it's a lot of that floating around, man. It's like the big thing in prison. So it's like, you know, I tell the people, man, it's no joke, man. You know, you think you can get in there and get high with somebody, do this and that. It's serious, man.
Man, I've been in riots over dudes owing dope debts. I've been in like multiple fights over dudes over dope debts, poker table debts. That's just, man, that's nuts, dude. That's what it is, though, man. Your homeboy gets caught up, man, and he's your dude, man, and he can't pay. You got to handle it, and you're going to back him up, right?
Yeah.
He goes, and somebody jumps on him. I got you, and that's what always happens.
And, you know, before we go, there's one other thing I want to touch on, too, because I know a lot of people always ask us, and I tell dudes that, you know, there's dope, there's gambling, and there's punks. And, you know, a dude will tell you, like, you know, I remember a dude told me, he's like, hey, you know, a boy, you know, at the other spot, he was fucking with a punk. I'm like, oh, boy? They're like, yeah. He, you know, if you didn't know, I'm letting you know. Immediately done. It ain't like, you know, and I'm not trying to offend, you know, people out here who are into that, but in prison, because they see you continuing, oh, you on that kind of time? It's like, you know, for people who don't know, man, tell them that shit is serious, man. It's like you can't You can't be over here in this yard. You had a boyfriend. Now you come over here and you're OG.
Nah. I mean, it's happened. It's happened before. You got some serious killers that will have boyfriends.
Well, I've seen that too.
But on the other fact is that there's always, we'll say 90% of the time, drama around that kind of situation. Always fights.
I've seen where a guy was an OG and his boyfriend showed up, and then the other dude was like, "Hey, dude, you're gonna have to step down. It ain't a good look for the yard. You know, you can do your thing, but we see, dude, we can't." And dude he was an animal, but he kind of like, you know, did his thing, and they let it because he had his boyfriend in the room with him.
Majority of the time, I can say out in Arizona, man, majority of the times they're not even on the yards. They're not even allowed on the yards, open yards. For the fact is that there's always drama over it.
Always something,
Issues or cheating or running up dope debts or all kinds of stuff, man. So like it just doesn't happen out there because it always turns into something. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It always turns into an issue.
Sooner or later, something's gonna happen. Somebody seen something, said somebody messing around. It's like, what? And it's like, dude, it's like on the street. That's my bitch. And it gets all it's all bad.
You got dudes that are like somebody's getting caught in the shower with these dudes, and next thing you know, they're nobodies, right? Because they're getting handled, man. Because like, you're just not a
nah.
It's not happening.
No, all gangster credibility goes out the window. Nolan Ford, you were in the mop closet, bro.
For a while.
It's a wrap, you know what I mean? In the library, hiding out in the back room, it's a wrap.
You see four sets of feet in the freaking shower, you know what I mean? You're like, oh yeah, you know what time it is, dude. Get those dudes.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, there you have it, man. Keeping 100 over here at Fresh Out. Big Herc 916 and Garrett.